Join me, five-time Paralympian Greg Westlake, as we journey across Canada to bring you incredible stories of how sport can heal, inspire, and bring communities together. This is Level Playing Field. Thanks for joining us. We have an amazing show for you, so settle in. Later, we hit the diamond to see how Challenger Baseball has created more opportunities for people with disabilities to play ball across Canada. But first, we head to Edmonton, Alberta to shine the spotlight on Canada's women's sitting volleyball team. This group of talented athletes are climbing the world rankings and are expected to become serious contenders at the next Paralympics.
The future of this program is absolutely a Paralympic gold medal. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that we have the skill to have had one gold at World Championships and that was an option. And I mean, someone wins, someone loses, so ultimately falling short, but I think we're better since then already.
Though fully in play now, golden goals would have seemed like a far-fetched idea a decade ago. To say the program was in flux when Heidi Peters joined the team is an understatement.
When I joined the team, they were pretty much, I would say, in a rebuilding stage. It was spring of 2013, and they had not qualified for the London 2012 games, so a lot of girls retired, almost the whole team after that. And yeah, there were probably 4 girls maybe like in the program kind of at that point. Like they couldn't even really travel and compete. They went to play with the US in exhibition, and they would like have to borrow players and stuff, couldn't even make a roster. So it was a very in-between time. And then I joined and a few other girls in that same year, so kind of got back to like maybe like 8 players-ish, like still totally rebuilding, not even really a team or a roster. And then we just slowly started to gain more and more players.
As you would expect, the gains have been incremental for the team, but there is one real catalyst for growth. The captain Danielle Ellis and the rest of the veterans believe had the biggest impact. That is the arrival of coach Nicole Ban and the high-performance culture she brought with her in 2015.
Are we good in this rotation? We're gonna go to the second lineup on the board.
She's a really strong, independent woman who's just really fighting for women in sports, para-sports. She's an advocate for anybody and everybody that needs one. And on top of that, she's honestly, I think, the best sitting volleyball coach there is in the world right now. I think she brings technically and tactically so much information.
We cannot think seam cross court. That's not seam, that's cross. We know the difference? Seam, bury it to 6. Straight down.
She came from the standing indoor, but she's really adapted to the sitting game. You know, she's not a cookie cutter kind of coach.
Find yourself against each of these servers. We're just going over tendencies.
I don't think I knew what I was doing when I took over the team, but I was an assistant coach in 2015 when I started. And right before the Toronto Para-Pan Am Games, I was told by the head coach, actually, I'm not gonna head coach, you're going to head coach. So going into the biggest event, it's a qualifier for the Rio Paralympics, I was the head coach. My first ever set, we lost 25-1 to the USA. So that was humbling, to say the least. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was like, I've never done this in my life. I hate losing. But I don't know if I had a goal as far as outcome, but it was at that moment, how do we qualify for the Rio Paralympics? Because this is a start. This is something that this group can hold on to. This is something that we can believe in and something we can grow toward together. And we did qualify for those Paralympic Games in Toronto at the Para-Pan Am Games. And it was the start of something incredible.
Canada wins in 3 sets and advances.
And once we went to those Rio Games, we got 7th. And then it was just like, okay, how do we move up from here? How do we improve our world ranking?
As Danielle noted, Nicole's background was playing able-bodied indoor volleyball, and initially, it was certainly a significant leap to start coaching disabled players in an adapted sport.
I sat down and played with them because there wasn't so many people there, and I was like, this is hard. I kept being like, move your feet, oh, no, use your head. Like, I was so confused. And I think just that like fighter in me that I love to accept a challenge, like one really embrace that it was something new, but it was the people that had me coming back and the athletes and making those connections and just really being curious and asking questions. I love to ask questions. I would never at that time say like, hey, get your legs off, let's go. Now that's normal language for me, but I was like so unsure with the prosthetics and what to say. That's a great set. And you try to go off the hands? That's the one we want.
It's so interesting talking about her. I did not know her before she was my head coach, so I don't know really who she was before, but I would very confidently say that she's also changed a lot in this program, and she never was a person who would see herself in parasport, ever thought that this is where she would be. I think that we've softened her a lot, and I think she's grown a lot in this program. The point of that is I think it's a huge balance between seeing the person, supporting the person, and also supporting the athlete, and like she does that both so beautifully. She, first practice, immediately sat down on our level. We play sitting volleyball, sitting on the ground, like got to know us, got to know our stories. Truly is one of my closest friends and values each of us so highly. She's the person who's been in the hospital with me the most, like through issues I've had after my amputation. Like she's in the emergency room with us. Like she's values us so highly and regards us so highly individually that she can push us so hard on court because that like trust and foundation is there.
People want to know that you care before they care what you know. That's really, really important. And that's something that, yes, I'm a hard coach and I'll tell you, I'm straight up. Like, you need to do this better, you need to do this better, but then later we can have a conversation about it, we can hug about it, we can cry about it, we can do whatever we need to do because I truly have their back at the end of the day, and that connection goes so far beyond sport. And it's maybe a little bit different in parasport. I think before on the indoor side when I was coaching or was playing, there's this hierarchy, right? The coach is up here and everyone's down here. I don't want to do that. I want to be right here beside you. I want to be learning from you as much as you're learning from me. And to me, yeah, that does come from a personal connection. And at the end of the day, it's about winning. We're going to win together, but I got your back if we lose together too.
Even if you're not playing with the intensity Nicole demands, sitting volleyball can be a real challenge. It didn't take me long to figure that out when I hit the court for some 2-on-2 action to get a feel for the game. Oh, I did the change up and you caught me. Excuse my language, but I got 2 cheeks on the ground. I need to have 1 cheek on the ground. Okay. We're the best. We're the best. The movement required wiped me out fast, but I definitely felt better about my performance after hearing people like assistant coach Kate Rosendahl, another able-bodied indoor player, describe her experience playing sitting.
It's honestly brutal on your body. Every time I sit down, well, obviously I don't train as much as they do, but like your hands go numb, your shoulders are so tight, like your traps are so sore. It's really difficult to remember to like keep your hands on the floor too, because in indoor volleyball, like you're always talking about like play with your hands up, keep your hands up, essentially so you don't get packed in the face as you play the ball high. But in sitting volleyball, you have to remember to keep your hands down so you can move more. There's just a large emphasis on moving prior to playing the ball, which is talked about in indoor, but it's definitely a skill maybe like taken for granted.
You get athletes that are, like really high quality athletes that have played a lot of stabbing indoor, are really good at the sport, and then they come in and all they're doing is flailing around and laying on their back and trying to play the ball. So definitely figuring out how to move and get your hands on the ground and like be in that ready position early enough to be able to play the ball is probably the biggest hurdle to overcome.
While the challenge to perform is one thing, difficulties are by no means bound by the court's painted lines. For Heidi, competing at the 2016 Rio Games was an incredible experience, but she found being thrust into a spotlight suddenly stirred up some old demons.
I just like really struggled with like body image and like body dysmorphia like growing up, and like I would never have considered myself high performance at all. I just played volleyball because it was my favorite sport, but like when I joined the team, it was rebuilding, as I said, and just like was in a very still formative like time of my life, like 18 to 21-ish, and we weren't like high performance, I would say then at all. Really just good vibes playing volleyball. So the pressure that came like after Rio that I put on myself, it just was like too much for me. I was like, I just wanted to like shy away from like working hard and like that potential, and like that's not me. I can't like be in the gym like this long. I can't like do this. I don't want to like lift weights. That's like not me. So yeah, I just shied away from like that potential, and I'm so glad I didn't. And I credit a lot of that to Nicole, and she just, I wouldn't say like barely pushed at that time, but just really like just saying like you can be one of the best like sitting volleyball players in the world. Like being uncomfortable is just like how you grow. Like nobody's like looking at you, nobody's like saying to you like what you're saying to yourself. Like that's not what's happening, and like we believe in you like as a program and as a staff and your teammates, and just really helped develop me into a leader, and now it's like flip. Now I like welcome challenge. Now I'm like, oh, being uncomfortable, like that's, your body naturally doesn't want that, but I try to kind of live in that space because that's where you grow and that's how you get better. And I like am incredibly proud of myself for how far I've come in that.
For all their ups and downs, it's impossible to miss how much team members care for each other. And that camaraderie is something Peyton Vare, one of the squad's younger players, puts a lot of stock in.
We always find a way to connect with each other. We're really understanding when somebody needs a moment to themselves, but we're really good at recouping and bringing ourselves back together to compete. And I think our team is one thing that really stands out is how close we are compared to other teams around the world.
I think our team is really amazing, just in and of itself, just how open we are to everybody. You know, we have younger athletes, and I call them the young ones. They're not that young anymore. You know, on and off the court, it's really amazing. I think we're all really strong individuals and bring that, and I think that's really, you know, what sets our team apart as well.
Combine that solidarity with a huge helping of skill, dedication, and high-level guidance, and the conversation inevitably reverts back to the sky's the limit potential this team possesses.
I have so much confidence in our team, and there is nobody else that I would rather compete and go for gold with other than the team that I'm here with right now. I really think that we can bring it all, and we have a very good chance of winning.
The future holds great things for this program, but we will qualify for the Paris Paralympics in 2023. That is our goal. In this year, we will qualify for the Paralympics, and in 2024, we'll be on a podium with a Paralympic medal.
I would say definitely a medal in Paris is our next goal for sure. You know, it was the 7th place at World Championships, it was a bronze in Lima, it was a 4th place in Tokyo, and now a 2nd place at World Championships. We're gaining momentum for sure, and so I think hopefully we are going to be peaking at the right time.
After spending time with the team, I can tell they're not satisfied being near the top. They want that Paralympic gold, and I think they have the skills to get it done in Paris. Coming up, Sport Explained breaks down the X's and O's of sitting volleyball. Then we go to bat with Challenger Baseball. Level Playing Field will be right back. Now back to Level Playing Field.
Sport Explained, sitting volleyball. Serving up all the action, sitting volleyball brings teamwork and power to the forefront. The summer sport is played on an indoor gym court, with the total playing surface being 10 meters deep by 6 meters wide. The court is split into 2 5-meter deep by 6-meter wide sides. The net acts as a divider, as each team stays on their side with the goal of having the volleyball land on their opponent's side. The 1.15 meters high net for men and 1.05 meter high net for women spans the entire court. The game is considerably faster than standing volleyball due to the smaller court and shorter net. The sport uses a traditional volleyball, which is 63.5 to 68.5 centimeters in diameter, and consists of a series of leather panels spanning the sphere. On each team, 6 players are on the court at one time, 3 up front and 3 in the back of their side of the court. Players often rotate and switch positions. However, the libero, who is a defensive specialist, must stay at the back row and is not allowed to serve or block. The libero wears a different color jersey from their teammates, so they are easily spotted by officials. Serving is the opening act of each game, where an athlete hits the ball from behind their backcourt line to their opponents. If the ball clears the net, the team who receives the ball has up to 3 touches to return the ball to the other side. To score a point, the ball must either touch the floor of the opposing team's court or be bounced off a player from the other team and go out of bounds. Sitting volleyball plays a match of 5 sets, with teams trying to be the first to win 3 sets. When the ball is live, all athletes must have one butt cheek on the court. Now you're ready to bump, set, and spike.
Level Playing Field will be right back. Now back to Level Playing Field. Challenger Baseball's adaptive baseball program empowers people of all ages and disabilities to play ball in an enjoyable and secure environment. It's also a ton of fun, as I learned when we hit the field in Cambridge, Ontario with the Buddy League.
Big swing. Big swing. Here we go. Oh! Yeah.
That's the sound of success at Challenger Baseball, an adaptive form of the game, giving folks with disabilities the chance to be a part of the action. In Cambridge, Ontario, it's part of the larger Buddy League program, and young athlete Samuel Light is a big fan.
Baseball. Buddy League baseball is the best, guys. I got a run. My run, I just swiped it, then I got it, and my family cheered for me.
The man behind the Buddy League is Cam Linwood. Starting the program in 2018, he saw an opportunity to adapt a game he loved to allow more kids to play. I sat down at the ballpark with him to learn more.
So we play the game entirely differently. It looks like baseball, but a runner who may have a challenge getting to the base very quickly, they quite often get called safe. If they're having a hard time hitting the ball, we move in, we move out, we make it work. We just really adapt the game to the athletes on the field.
And where does Challenger fit into this whole Buddy League?
Yeah, so we learned that baseball is a little bit intimidating. And so we wanted to bring in our Challenger program, and we created the relationship with the JSCAR Foundation to basically start a learn-to-play program that uses games and activities to build those skills, build some of that social confidence, that team building, and get them more confident before they actually start playing in our program.
Oh, and you mentioned JSCAR, which is a great segue. What kind of support do they provide for you?
They have been absolutely incredible. From our startup piece to where sort of they gave us the tools to get a program like this off the ground, to even just the funding to support some of the stuff we do out on the field. They're always there.
There you go.
Challenger Baseball is an adaptive baseball program for children, youth, and adults with disabilities to really empower them to work on life skills that come from the game. So things like courage, independence, confidence, connection, all those great things.
Megan Sondercook is the Senior Manager of Inclusive Programs at the JSCAR Foundation. She says that Cam's commitment and program success has been a model for others to follow.
Cam has been a trailblazer for Challenger Baseball in Ontario and then as well nationally. He has such an incredible foundation. He has an amazing community. He's built it from the ground up, always looking, what can I do better? What can I, do for my athletes to make recreation and sport in your lives and available? He is the kindest person. He has so many athletes that look up to him, and there's so many coordinators across Canada that look up to him. He has great ideas. He's just genuinely like a very, very kind person.
So we're all gonna get a chance to hit the ball a few times and throw the ball a few times. Cool?
For families, having a safe space for their children to play is vital. Cam has created that with the Buddy League. The support on and off the field has surprised Mary Klimko and her daughter, Marion Bryden.
We were looking for something for Marion to play, and we found the Buddy League, and it's a very welcoming and positive atmosphere. It's very encouraging, and I love it. I wish we had found this community earlier. Marion, how do you feel? Like the social aspect of it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you like hitting the baseballs because you love baseball?
I like hitting it.
The philosophy of adapting to each player is what makes Challenger Baseball and the Buddy League stand out. Volunteer Jamie Cook feels that approach to supporting the players is key.
If you are willing to ask, what do you need? And how can I help? And how can we alter this environment or alter this situation to best suit your needs? Anybody can do anything. And I think this program really does prove that. And it shows our athletes that they can do anything that they set their minds to, and nothing is out of reach.
1, 2, 3, Buddy League!
For Cam, the program is always filled with unknowns, but the participation continues to grow because of the strong foundation he has laid.
We went from about 25, 30 athletes in our first season, not knowing what we'll expect. Grew a little bit more the next year, then COVID happened. And we came back last year and weren't sure really what we were going to see coming from sort of 30 or 40. We were planning for about the same. We hit 65, 70 athletes, and we've got 75 out here this year.
Despite the popularity and growth of the program, CAM ensures each participant is given an opportunity to enjoy the game. Jennifer Kerr saw his commitment to this idea through her son, Jack.
Found out some vision issues with Jack, where he has trouble tracking the ball. And I gave the report to Cam, and the next day, Cam was helping Jack figure out how to track the ball so he could hit it. He made it so Jack could do it, and it's just that attention to detail, the focus on each individual athlete. Even though there's 75 athletes out there, he cares about every single one of them. The program wouldn't be what it is without Cam Lingwood.
I had a blast at the Diamond, and I witnessed firsthand the impact Challenger Baseball and the entire Buddy League is having on these players. These athletes love the game, and it's great to see this important initiative thriving in a small Canadian city. On that note, that's all the time we have for this edition of Level Playing Field. Thanks for being with us. Host producer, Greg Westlake. Senior producer director, Ted Cooper. Director of photography, senior editor, Matthew McGurk. Integrated described video consultant, M. Williams. Supervising producer, Michelle Dudas. Produced by Evergreen Productions. Copyright 2023.
An AMI original production.